January.
Well,
that's right.
we don't do pledge of allegiance and all that stuff.
Doesn't matter.
That's the only reason I'm standing up.
Call this meeting to order. We have the roll call, please.
Really?
No, not ready. I don't know which file to get this from. Michelle Sumner?
Here.
Tom Boggs is excused.
Really?
Debbie Hamilton? Larry Whitaker?
Here.
Sean Smalley?
Here.
Joe Grousman?
Here.
Thank you.
Excellence here. Introduction of the media. Anyone wishing to speak before the meeting tonight on any subject matter will need to fill out a speaker form and come to the recorder. Forms are available on the sign-in table in the back. Please turn your cell phones off or on silence. And please stay at silence. Public comment. The purpose of public comment period is to allow citizens to present information or raise issues. A time limit of 3 minutes per citizen shall apply. All citizens must come up to the microphone. Is there anybody that wanted to address the agency? The consent agenda for September 13th, 2021 minutes. Is there a motion? I make a motion to approve the minutes. Second? Discussion? None. Vote please.
Michelle Sumner?
Aye.
Tom Boggs is not. Debbie Hamilton?
Aye.
Larry Whitaker?
Aye.
Sean Smalley?
Aye.
Joe Grousman?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, agency business, business improvement grant application approval. Staff report, please.
Tonight we have, as business before the agency, 4 more grant applications that have been reviewed by the task force as is required. And they come to you tonight for your review and approval. And if you have questions, we'll field them. I'll ask Christy to just briefly kind of detail each of those. So if you hadn't had a chance to refresh or review these, it'll be a little bit fresher in your mind.
So the 4, they're all for the amount of $25,000. One of them is a second application from the Body Shop Total Fitness based on his facade exceeding the typical 25 feet lineal feet wide, and then it's a 2-story building, so he's got the biggest facade on that street. So having that, he would like to apply and hopefully be granted the additional $25,000 as his will cost a significant amount to improve. The other 3 applications are all from Jeremy White, all 3 different businesses, the Rotary Room, CG's Computer, and the liquor store. He would like to make those a facade that is continued throughout all 3 buildings. And so having that, the average, it actually comes, if you measure just the frontage along, the facade frontage along Central, it comes out to, I think, 74 feet. However, he has also North Calapooya side, so that, trying to balance the applications, I think $25,000 for each building would be sufficient for him to apply for, because he has significantly longer than the 25 feet per building. So.
Well, I just want to mention that our newest counselor, Sean Smalley's business, and how he remodeled that and gave it that glorious look. Well, all of this design is a takeoff of that and will actually match. So you can imagine coming that intersection, looking over as long as he's not standing in the front of the building, how beautiful it would be. And just look down the street and it's all gonna match. And you started it and I just wanted to give you that credit because you're not gonna get any money from us, but we can at least give you a public accolades. Thank you.
Do I need to say anything about the agency reps that were there at that meeting? Do I need to add that?
If you wanted to add anything that you,
Well, I'll just say that the reps from the council on their vote agreed to approve the vote. Just say that. Ready to get a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the funding request for the Body Shop Total Fitness, Jeremy White and Jeremy White and his 3 businesses for $25,000 each, and $25,000 each for Jeremy White's business.
Second?
A second.
Discussion.
I only have one question. And I'm sure that you've told us before, but how are we checking up to make sure that the $25,000 is being spent for what it's being spent?
Well, all of these are required, we have to have complete documentation, and this is on a reimbursement basis, so they'll all be reviewed thoroughly. Yeah, there's no free lunch here. We're gonna be pretty hardcore on reviewing all of this documentation. They all know it. It's all been discussed in advance.
and if there's any amount not spent, so if they're awarded 25,000 and they only spend 23, they're only getting the 23. They're not getting the free lunch on that end either.
So what you're describing is that they applied for it, it's accepted now, but they have to turn in receipts after they have
Absolutely,
spent it
correct.
for that purpose.
They're not gonna be paid on estimates, it's gonna be on completed work.
Anything else? Okay, we have a motion to approve the grant applications for the Body Shop on the amount of $25,000, Jeremy White with the liquor store, smoke shop, C&G computer repair, and Sullivan Rotary Building, each in the amount of $25,000. Vote please.
Michelle Sumner,
Aye.
Debbie Hamilton,
Aye.
Larry Whitaker,
Aye.
Sean Smalley,
Aye.
Joe Grousman,
Aye.
motion carries.
Are there any reports or discussion?
I actually would like to put a report in there that we just wrote a $300,000 check to the county for the wetlands mitigation portion at the request of Chris Boyce had asked for that. So that'll show in September reports.
That's progress,
I know.
Any others?
big time.
Pat, do you have anything to add?
Just thank you to the agency members and to the task force. They've spent a lot of time reviewing a lot of detailed information. There were really good questions asked, and I think this is going very well, and I'm excited to start seeing some actual, hammers and nails and things happening that will improve the look of that block. So this is great. And the wetlands progress is even, kind of icing on the cake. That's terrific.
Okay, anything else? We're adjourned.
Yeah, it means it's actually gonna finally happen.
Yep. I think we tied the last meeting 8 minutes.
Hello, thank you all for joining. I'm going to
That's
mute
great.
this for the next 5 minutes until we start the council meeting.
Do we have to put that out?
So how long do you think till we have written confirmation?
Written confirmation.
And from the other agencies on the wetlands credit?
Oh, well, when we went to lunch with Chris Boyce, he thought it'd be in the next 90 days, as I recall. And Pat Fahey, who is the one client,
Right.
didn't think he would be breaking ground till 2022.
That's around the corner, that's less than 3
Yeah, I mean,
months.
that's 90 days, if it makes it in this calendar year, that would be surprising.
Yeah, that's exciting. If it happened in the first part of 2022.
Oh, that's, if he can get going in the first quarter of 2022, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Can I just move now?
So, do I need to move?
No, you're.
Yeah.
You and I, Jerry and I are the ones that are in the picture. I wanna make sure my stuff.
No, I mean, just in terms of, or are the counselors staying where they are?
They're staying where they're at.
Okay.
Well, you're good. We just might have you move when we do the swearing in.
Right, I'll go hide.
I don't really like being in the picture.
We've redirected the camera so we can do the swearing in, and then we will redirect the camera to face council right after the swearing in.
Do we know that yet? Have we been
I thought we probably should do it together.
Well, and I figured when we get closer, we'll have a meeting with all of us, to make sure we're all on the same page. Forward.
Nobody will get me out for this?
But I was trying to go ahead and go on the mission with SBI, so then the on board and everyone.
Right.
And everyone's invited to the last meeting, so this time we'll just put on the agenda.
Do we have any contacts with the Heritage folks?
Well, Sherry's stores, there's I think Curry Gill might be the name of it, I can't remember.
Where are they out of? Is it Salem?
Jerry, my coat is kind of in the way, is why I moved it.
Well, but then you put it in the way for them walking up here.
I'm wondering if it'd be worth a trip.
No, you guys are.
Well, you just need to let us stuff, so we just need to.
I know, definitely
Bring it
stand
over.
in different spots.
Just box on emails all over, so.
Just box.
I think next opportunity is part of
Stand for the
us
camera.
to go and connect and talk to them and, because his personal relationships make a big difference in Salem.
Well, and, but a lot of times like with the park stuff, they actually do a lot of workshops. So I think as long
And
as
they
we,
move those around.
as long as we participate, now whether they do them virtually or not, will be the question, but we can still show our faces.
And Travel Oregon just did a lot of that too.
We just did the Main Street Conference last week and it was virtual.
Yeah. I was supposed to go to one in Sparks, Reno, whatever, and it's all masked and all distanced, and it's like, why go? Can't talk to anybody.
I kind of like it, because then I don't have to.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
gonna
don't have to
do.
get out of my bubble.
Right. Yeah, I don't wanna do that, I don't have to do that.
And so like this economic development one that I have to do in November, I don't really have to, now you have to go see. I don't like it.
Called phoning it, Andrew. No, just turn the camera on.
This dog a rescue dog? But he's just a lumber.
Yeah, if we can get a head start on that,
Yeah, but
that would be
so
smart,
whatever it was,
because it's,
Well, oh yeah, so I've been pulling stuff from last, the last time.
You know, it could be a bad one,
Or whatever.
yeah.
Oh, that's Michelle's fault. Michelle's fault. Is it just? Yeah, we did make out her name, but I don't know if they'll actually issue the application. It gives you a whole kind of information sheet of what to, the kind of information that they're using. So, I've got all that stuff printed, I just haven't taken the time to go through it.
Your citizens, take your seat.
Soils engineering on that building recently,
Soils engineering?
Cracking that whip.
or hydrology, no?
I'm sure.
They have
That's where we're gonna have to have that done. I would if I was looking at that.
All rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Counselor Grousman,
I am here.
Counselor Hamilton,
Here.
Counselor Boggs. Oh, never mind, excuse. I'm going down the list. My mind is slow today. Counselor Whitaker,
Here.
Counselor Smalley.
Here.
Mayor in waiting, Michelle Sumner.
Here. Introduction of media.
I gotta cross all this
Media
out.
Anyone wishing to speak before the city council tonight on any subject matter will need to fill out a speaker form and turn it into the recorder. Forms are available on the sign-in table in the back of the room. Please turn cell phones off or silence them during the meeting. And swearing in for the new office. City recorder.
Okay, if you'll come up to the front with me, please. After the meeting, I'll have you authorize your signature. Okay, are we ready? Okay, raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Michelle Sumner,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
the state of Oregon,
the state of Oregon,
the charter of the city of Sutherland,
the charter of the city of Sutherland,
all federal and state laws
all federal and state laws
and ordinances
and ordinances
of the city of Sutherland,
of the city of Sutherland,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
faithfully perform the duties
faithfully perform the duties
of mayor
of mayor
during my continuance therein.
during my continuance therein.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, now,
Good job.
you all right?
Bill, what would you say?
So on to public comment. The purpose of this public comment period is to allow citizens to present information or raise issues regarding agenda items only. There will be time at the end of the meeting for citizens to speak about off-agenda items. A time limit of 3 minutes per citizen shall apply. All citizens must come up to the microphone. Are there any citizens wishing to speak? Okay, on the consent agenda for September 13th, 2021 meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
A second?
Which,
Oh, who made the motion?
That was,
I made the motion. Okay. I think we're, you can now buy it.
quiet here.
It's so quiet. Any discussion?
She didn't know.
Let's have a loud voice. Okay. Ready for vote?
Counselor Grousman,
Aye.
Counselor Hamilton,
Aye.
Counselor Whitaker,
Aye.
Counselor Smalley,
Aye.
Mayor Sumner,
Aye.
motion carries.
On to council business. City recorder, staff report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Diane Harris, City Recorder. At our September 13th meeting, Council voted to table the decision for filling the council vacancy. We have applicants Gary Daigle and Lisa Woods that are still interested in being considered. And Lisa is unable to attend tonight. She is at a work conference out of town. So she did submit her desire to still be considered. So I will leave it to you.
I believe Gary is here.
I'm here.
Would you like to say anything?
Well, sure.
All right. Welcome.
He's getting good at this.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
And it's kind of wicked. Don't you? I don't have a lot to say tonight, but I kind of wanted to sum up. If I get my notes straight. So, what I have to say is Sunderland is special. And unlike the rest of the country that's so divided, we're kind of like all united and just making Sunderland better. And I like that. And we all share in that goal, kind of makes everyone improving it, keeping the small town flavor, which I think is kind of important. Anyhow, I've been involved in the community for over 10 years, and I've watched the community evolve with many positive things. The city has grown, we have new businesses, new housing, a fresher look. The city has improved a lot over the years, both with large and small projects. New projects like the urban renewal is going to make such a difference for our look at downtown and towards Pond. What a great addition that's been. Anyhow, major things like that. We paved Central and did new street lights, signs and lights, and it's actually turned that into like something to really be proud of, and I think it improved the look of our city dramatically. And then things happen like the fire department. We had that discussion on going through a volunteer fire department, and that was kind of painful at times, but we got that done. It was kind of neat, the library, when everybody was having trouble in the library shutting down, we were one of the first ones to get our library going again. And that's mainly because we got great volunteers here. Anyhow, water and sewer improvements, all of that's been updated and we're looking to the future, so I think a lot of that's taken care of. Future growth that's going to come along with that, and that's just good planning on the city's part, I believe. Anyhow, and I like the flowers hanging on Central. I like the Hometown Heroes banners. I think all that stuff really helps our city. A lot of progress has been made. Anyhow, I kind of have a wish list. And I'll tell you what I think it's fun. We did a survey. The city did, I believe. And that survey was really interesting. What was important, I think, is that you get people involved in the city. And one of the questions at the end of it was, would you like to be informed of the results or be involved? And 60% said no, and 40% roughly said yes. But I thought, you know what, we need that 40%. We should encourage them to participate. We could have more volunteers for things that are important to us. Anyhow, I think that'd be great. I also think we should do a survey like that maybe once or twice a year. It keeps people involved and lets them know what's going on with the city, and I think that might help to get a lot of people. Anyhow, I'd like to see a few things like that. I'd like to see a city business directory, so people know what businesses are in town and what's going on here. I'd really like to see a local newspaper, but I realize that's probably not going to happen. Newspapers are kind of gone. And the city information sheet is really good. I like that. I think it's a good standard for general things for the rest of the city. I'd like to see the bandstand in the park. I think that'd be nice. Something for a permanent stay, perhaps. I'd like to see the museums be improved and promoted a little bit more. And I'd like to see more activities with the arts. Like one of the things I've kind of been working on is maybe having an art show. And the other thing I kind of like is clean up increases to the city. I think if we could just make the entrance to the city look more inviting. And it's been a movie, but there's a lot of things we could do there, and I think the volunteers could handle a lot of that project. Anyhow, the other thing that I think would be real helpful is to get an inventory of commercial building spaces for rent. And perhaps the Chamber of Commerce should do this, but we could encourage them to do that. But it'd be nice to know what buildings are available, who we contact, what zone they're in, and would be a real helpful if somebody tried to move into the area. Anyhow, that's about it. I think I'd really like to be on the council and try to see if we what we are. That's all.
Thank you. So do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to appoint Gary
Second. I second.
Oh, you're asking for a second? Or did you say you were second?
I seconded it.
That's what.
Oh, I thought you were asking for a second. We're all looking at everybody.
You have to speak.
I thought it was pretty loud.
That's funny.
Awkward.
That was awkward.
Any discussion? Ready for a vote?
Okay, Counselor Grousman.
I have to go first.
Yes, you do.
Aye.
Counselor Hamilton.
Aye.
Counselor Whitaker.
Aye.
Counselor Smalley.
Aye.
Mayor Sumner.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I do gotta say, you almost blew it. Rambling up there for 20 minutes, I was about to fall asleep.
Do not
That's
pay
reserved
attention
for
to
the
that.
mayor only.
So can we ask him if he's willing to be sworn in?
Holy moly.
Choice, would you like to be sworn in tonight or next, meeting?
We're ready to swear you in right now.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go to the, just so everybody knows, I did do 2 oaths without knowing who would be sworn in.
What do you want?
Have him come over that. We'll have you come right up front if you would like, where Mayor Sumner was, and we'll do your swearing in.
I heard it.
Okay, are we ready? You raise your right hand. Oh, thank you. Raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Gary Diggle,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
the state of Oregon,
the state of Oregon,
and the charter
and the charter
of the city of Sutherland.
of the city of Sutherland,
All federal and state laws
all federal and state laws
and ordinances
and ordinances
of the city of Sutherland.
of the city of Sutherland.
And that I will,
And that I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
faithfully perform the duties,
say that again,
faithfully perform the
faithfully
duties
perform my duties
of city councillor
of city councilor
during my continuance therein.
during my continuance therein.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Good to have you.
Now you are tasked with finding a new planning commission member. Now you're tasked to find a new planning
That's
commission
part of the
member.
deal. You have to
Why
find somebody to
replace
replace
yourself,
you.
right?
Can I turn the camera back around, Diane?
Oh, yes, thank you, Tammy. You completely forgot.
Just stay there in case we need to turn it.
After the meeting period, and, after the meeting, I'll need to,
I don't have a rear view mirror, so I can't tell.
get Jared in the swivel.
No. Might hurt my knee.
Okay,
Thank you, Tammy.
are you ready?
I am.
Okay. Ordinance, Tree City USA, first reading title only. City Recorder.
An ordinance of the City of Sutherland adopting a Tree City USA tree care program for the City of Sutherland, Oregon, to promote and protect public health, safety, and general welfare by providing for the regulation of the planting, maintenance, and removal of trees, shrubs, and other plants on public property within the town of Sutherland.
Staff reports, City Manager.
Madam Mayor, thank you. I don't know if this is working. So I wanted to give tribute to Councilor Whitaker for making this proposal and creating a draft for you to review. But at the same time, as we looked at it for our first year, they provided a basic ordinance that we felt as staff would be a good way to kickstart it, and that we could integrate a number of the thoughts and ideas in the larger ordinance. However, I also provided it for you because at the end of the day, this is your call on how you want to do it. We as a city staff feel like we can make this work, but we also feel like we're fine without it. So our perspective is we want to, as always, support the will of the city council, but at the same time, we don't really have an opinion that we feel strongly, whichever way you go, is how we will support it. So from that, you have the basic ordinance that we're presenting to you, and then if you want to pick and choose sections of the other to include in it or generate, this is your time to review, amend, because this is only your first reading. So with that, I will stop Gary Diggling you and let you discuss, decide, and give direction.
Have a motion.
I move that we approve the first reading by title only of the ordinance for becoming a Tree City USA through the National Arbor Day Foundation.
I'll second that.
He's been waiting.
Have a vote.
That's awesome. Joe Grousman, or Councilor Grousman, excuse me.
Aye.
Caught in a moment. Councilor Hamilton.
Aye.
Councilor Daigle.
Aye.
Councilor Whitaker.
Aye.
Councilor Smalley.
Aye.
Mayor Sumner.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Strategic Plan Update. Forest Pond Community Park Improvement Project 1 and 2A Phase 1 Update. Community Development Project.
Mayor Sumner, City Council President, Community Development Director. So this is just an update for Project 1 and 2A, but what I wanted to do is go a little bit further since there's a lot more projects going on in Group 1 and 2A. So currently, Project 1 was the parking lot and the .8 ADA path plus the infrastructure. We're about 95% complete on that, and the holdup on that project is the site furnishing, which is the picnic tables and the benches because of the pandemic. There's been a huge delay on those items. We're expecting to get the picnic tables in November, the benches in December, so we're anticipating those two projects being completed by January, February 2022. With that said, we go into, I'm just going to say Project 2, which is the ADA accessible restrooms, some more trail, inclusive natural play areas, some more tree pavilions, more site furnishings, and some security cameras. So that grant, along with the LW, the Land and Water Conservation Fund, and the Recreational Trails Program grant, ended up being separated because at the 11th hour, the Land and Water Conservation Fund required a subsurface archaeological survey. Basically, that was for that additional 0.9 miles of path that was not completed. And with that, because the RTP was match funds for the local water conservation fund, that one was also on hold pending the subsurface archaeological survey. So that has been completed. There was no findings. It's been submitted to Land and Water and RTP. We then submitted it to National Park Services for their review and comment, and the Grand Moron Indians for their comment. As of last week, we have no information back on that. But we can't move forward on that 0.9 miles until we get that notice to proceed from the RTP and the Land and Water. Otherwise, the city will be financially responsible for those improvements. So,
If I might, just RTP stands for Recreational Trails Program, just so you understand. Sorry.
Thank you. The other grant that is been submitted has not been reviewed yet. It's for additional RV parking off of Church and some ADA accessible sidewalks, wayfinding, some signage and lighting. So between October 26th and 28th, that will go before the RTP, the Recreational Trails Program Advisory Committee. They will review it, and then sometime in November, they will make their selection on who is successful for that. So as we move forward with Project 2, which is ADA accessible restrooms, we're at the 30% right now. We're reviewing the comments. So we are moving forward on that, but on the other hand, like I said, on that trail, we're kind of at the mercy of National Park Service and Grand Moron Indians waiting for their comment.
Do we have any date that they are going to respond?
No, sir. When I reached out to them last week, the response in the email was, unfortunately, at this time, I have no update. So, that is where we're at. You guys have any questions? That's where we're at for tomorrow.
With the time, it's happening.
Well, you can get extension, so that is, yeah, so it's already 31/21, so we'll get an extension for that. That's what we had to do on the first project right now.
The security cameras there and other places, where are they actually monitored? Are they at the dispatch center or are they?
I might turn that over to Troy.
Inside the police department. Inside the police department. It's kept in the city. Haven't had any issues down there?
We don't have the cameras installed yet.
I make a difference.
Any other questions? City manager report.
Yes, Madam Mayor, and I can't tell you how it is so thrilling to be able to say that for the audience and for the world. This is an interesting time in history. You are a pioneer. I think you were the very first female council president the city's ever had, and now you become the first female mayor the city has ever had, and first woman mayor. And we're kind of excited. We did a little article on both you and the council president, having both women in both key leadership positions for the city, having put in there by 4 redneck males. But they did a good job. And we want to just say welcome and congratulations, because it's not just, I mean, you didn't get this because of your gender, you got this because of your contributions. But your gender didn't serve in a prejudicial way in whatsoever. It was very, very, very good. So welcome, Madam Mayor, and congratulations. I also want to point out the little workbooks you have in there, especially for Councilors Daigle and Smalley. After the election, we brought the new councilors in and spent half a day giving them an orientation on city processes and getting to know city staff and that type of thing. But this has a lot of information on risk management. It also has your 10 top priorities you gave for me to perform, and there's a little slideshow that we did that's copied for all of you to read, so that's just there. In November, we will be doing a brief overview on risk management in the Oregon Ethics Commission, as our insurance company kind of requires us to do that. I want to talk about the water curtailment, which is now ending. We'll be sending out a flyer letting everybody know that it's over for this year, but don't expect to be out of the woods next summer. We might have to, we don't know, but to be prepared, because of the final construction of Nonpareil water treatment plant is going to require one of the two of it to be shut down for a period of time, and depending on how much water we've drawn out of Cooper Creek, we might be in another position to do that. And I guess the last thing I want to tell you, you've all been waiting to hear this, but tomorrow is the day that the railroad is going to repair the Central Avenue ties. Now, Aaron's been working with them and the police department, I think, at creating routes for both the trucks and the citizens while they basically take up a large portion of Central. Did you want to explain anything that you might have put together that might be understandable by others?
We are going to have a detour at Calapooya and then also at Front Street, and route all the traffic that's heading west down to Hastings and around that way. And they can also be north of 6th Street if they so choose. We considered having some of the center lane and the eastbound lane share and try to route traffic and keep them on Central. But there's enough of that center panel that's also messed up that they would have trouble working. Well, they wouldn't be able to complete the job. So we're going to route all the westbound traffic out of the area, and eastbound traffic will still be on Central. So it's going to be about all day. We from 8 to 3. So what was that?
Good day to stay home.
Well,
Not for you.
Lunch on this side of the tracks.
Right.
it shouldn't be a big, a real big inconvenience. I think it will go very smoothly.
Thank you. I'm gonna say something.
It's the westbound and then part of the center with the other group. It's not a turn around. It's just that medium piece of the middle.
The middle seemed like it was worse.
The very worst is in the inside wheel track on the westbound lane, and then the middle's not as bad, but it's still kind of loose.
Because I was behind a guy who was.
Yeah, it bounces up pretty good if they hit it right.
I also want to commend Aaron and Brian. We've been, I've made calls, sent emails, they have, but they have been persistent at getting finally their attention and coming into town. So thank you both. I mean, I can't tell you how many phone calls.
I know.
Well, they were out there and they indicated that, well, that's not very bad, we get a lot worse.
Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
Several times.
Yeah. Bad enough.
And that's my final report, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Council comments. Remember, monthly meeting is time is limited. Please ask questions or make statements that are likely to benefit the group. Individual comments and questions that can be handled on a one-on-one basis should be handled outside the meeting. Councilor Grossman.
No comment. No questions.
Councilor Hamilton.
Well, now that you said all that.
Yeah.
I know, I haven't heard that for a while. Can I start?
As long as it's,
Well, I just noticed that there's new businesses that I didn't have a clue about, and it would be nice if we could know about it. Is that
What new businesses? I'm
Well, there's
sorry.
one martial arts place, and I can't remember the name of the other one that's on the other end, there by Abby's.
The cheerleader, the
Oh,
dance
yeah,
studio.
Yeah.
Dance studio. Cheerleader. Cheerleader.
I don't know.
Still don't know
It'd
that.
just be nice to know what we've got coming in town or what's here, like Gary mentioned. When I worked here, I usually was up on that stuff.
Well, some of us still don't know.
Well, yeah, and I wondered that too, because it is in that building. If they don't.
We're
come
usually
in.
the last to know.
So,
The martial arts studio, by the way, for the, Lisa Woods, who was an applicant here, and her husband, who is on the planning commission, that's their business.
Oh,
I was
really?
thinking, yeah, they talked about it.
And they put a ton of great improvements in there. It's quite remarkable.
Yeah, I was glad to see that was still up now, because I think, I can't remember the other one is. Well, there's cheerleading.
Umpqua Luxury Styles?
Well, I know Umpqua, but between them and the cheerleader place, there's what's a school for, anyway. So it's full now, so that's nice to see.
Head Start.
Yeah,
and,
Head Start.
Dance School.
Yeah, that's what it is. And then I don't know I'm gonna ask you now because I don't know whether to ask you or ask Ryan. But what's happening with exit 135? The sign. Because it really looks awful.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna address that after the first week. We're focusing now on holiday decorations.
Yeah, we got you saw the design for it.
Yeah, I did. It just is so
Some of the supplies are back ordered too, so.
nasty. That's all.
Councilor Daigle.
Well, I'd like to thank everybody that allowed me to be part of this. I'd also like to mention that when, I was working with the business registration in some increasing city, we have really great people working for the city. And I've always been impressed with how they care about Sutherland, how they help people here. I think we have real fortunate to have the people we have in our city government working for us. That's all.
We didn't pay him.
Except for him.
You're already on the council.
You deserve it.
Councilor Whitaker. Councilor Smalley.
Congratulations for the new council.
I just have a couple things. First, I want to say that the new Ford Pond sign is awesome looking, beautiful. It really adds to Ford Pond. I love it. And also, we were noticing that someone was out fixing some of the edges of the trail at Ford Pond, and that was really nice to see as well. Thank you. And congratulations to Councilor Daigle. Welcome aboard. Thank you very much. The purpose of public comment is to allow citizens to present information regarding items off the agenda. A time limit of 3 minutes per citizen shall apply. Anyone for public comment? Okay.
Just be showered.
Yeah.
You got my comment there.
You got that already. Nothing further? All right. Adjourn.
By the way, Jack Costner, Jack? He's a manager at Senior Center. Oh. He's also. Okay. Just the lights that they want to put up. Well, he went up to the cell and he says, when are we going to get those lights?
Yeah, and this was so nice.
Thank
and that way you guys have to look at, you know, for,
They don't have.
and then,